Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. Is locking out your joints safe during weight training? Let's give it a little bit of thought. All right. So what are some observations? People say shit like, bro, don't lock out on leg press, duh. Hack squat, for sure. Dumbbell press, yep. Anything. Doesn't matter what you lock out on. If you post a video on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or Chatterbait, hope we don't get flagged for that one. It doesn't matter. Someone's going to come on and tell you you're locking out and that's hurting the environment. Al Gore is sad, the seals are dying, and the world is going to end, and you're immoral, and you're going to die. Surprisingly, you're not dead yet. And locking out is really bad. You're not supposed to lock out on any of this stuff, but the question arises as to why not? So, some facts, hopefully facts. Every single joint that locks out was, drumroll, designed by the process of evolution to lock out. There's no punchline with that. It's just actually designed to do that. It's not locked out by accident. Okay? There is definitely no evidence, and not even any rationale, that locking out in normal training will lead to long-term wear and tear. It just doesn't make any sense. You talk to your average orthopedic specialist that actually works with athletes and has familiarity with training, and you say, hey, like, can I lock out my handstand push-ups when I'm a gymnast? They're going to be like, what? They're like, can I do a push-up and actually lock out? They're going to say, well, yeah. What? Why, does it hurt? And you'll say, well, no. He's not going to be like, well, just you wait. Yeah, that's not a professional who's in the right doesn't say stuff like that. It's actually just what you're supposed to do. Now, here's the thing. If it really bothers your joints to lock out on a specific movement or specific lift, don't do it. Okay, don't do stuff that repeatedly hurts. But if it doesn't hurt, rock out and lock out to your heart's content. Okay? Interestingly, if you do lock out over time, it's actually likely to make you better at lockouts and probably make your joints stronger, right? Because if you avoid all things that have even some semblance of risk, you become really fragile and frail and a wuss and hashtag all wolves and no sheep. I don't know. I'm trying to fit in. Was that the thing people say? All right. Okay, fine. Locking out is healthy over the long term. But what about acute injury risk? What about the following question? Won't locking out, as the kids say, snap your shit up? Yes, if you fall into a very small category of people. That one lady, you've seen her video on YouTube. If you haven't, don't watch it, because it's going to disturb the living shit out of you. If you have, you know what I'm talking about with that disturb the living shit out of you thing. And I know you're still going to go watch it because you're like, oh, whatever, it's not going to disturb me, and it's still fucking haunt your dreams. If you're that lady, then you probably have a highly unusually lax joints, and that is a thing that is probably a congenital condition and most people just can't do. So if you're that person, my apologies if you're actually that person, terrible accident. But if you have some kind of condition with really crazy lax joints, locking out may not be a good idea. Something you talked about with your doctor. Or those two guys on YouTube that tried to leg press 2,000 pounds, which is seemingly 1,700 pounds more than they could actually leg press with a full range of motion. And they did it by pushing down on their knees towards lockout with knee wraps on. First of all, the knee wraps auto straighten your legs anyway. The pushing literally pushes your knees back the other way. And knee wraps, bonus thing if you've never done equipped powerlifting, they completely numb your lower body to any sensation. So you actually lose almost all proprioception. You don't know if your knee's like this or if your knee's like that. You just push, especially after a hard set, and then your knees could fold through. You need to push pretty hard. You need to have a weight on there. This thing as much as a fucking car, not your 300, 400, 500 pounds that you're supposed to be leg pressing with. So if you do the shit improperly to begin with, then shit goes wrong. Some of you folks that are do the pew-pew thing, you shoot for sport or something like that, people say well, guns are really dangerous. They can get you killed. You got to really fuck up with a gun to have it get you killed. You really, really dumb shit. So people who are like intelligent pro-gun advocates, they know that when people say guns are really dangerous, they can get you killed just by accidentally just shoot yourself. You got to go really out of your way. And the people that get hurt in the gym through locking out have almost always gone unbelievably out of their way to do something so morbidly stupid that, I don't want to say they had it coming, but they had it coming. So, yes, if you're those 3 people, we've got so far, yeah, sure, I'm missing a few, 10 people. No, you don't have to worry about acute injury risk from locking out if you don't have a congenital joint laxity disorder, which you probably don't. If you're using an appropriate load, you can actually handle through a full range of motion. And if you're not snapping into the lockout in a velocity you're not used to, and you're not well controlling the weight, and you're just doing that with reckless abandon, if you're locking out at a normal speed or one which you're used to, which could appear quite fast to the naked eye, then you're totally fine, right? And how many times have you seen someone pull a bicep or tear a pec or strain a quad in the gym? You might have seen a few of those things. Even those are really rare. How many times have you ever seen someone completely hyperextend a joint in front of you? Maybe never, right? Mind you, equipped powerlifters who have knee wraps on, who have a suit, who's completely annulled to any sensation of their bodies, they have torn quads, torn glutes. I know it's crazy, torn adductors, everything in the books, squatting 1,200 pounds and more. Almost no one, perhaps no one ever, maybe like that one guy, has ever actually hyperextended their knee and folded back the other way. It's incredibly rare, even at loads that you're not even supposed to be doing as you're a human being with your own body. So people like that almost never get hurt in that way with super crazy hyperextension. You're probably safe, unless you're going out of your way to do dumb shit. So don't do dumb shit. Now, third problem with locking out. Okay, fine, it doesn't cause long-term injuries maybe. The acute injury risk is wildly overstated and you have to go out of your way to earn it. What about keeping constant tension on the muscle, right? Maybe it's not unsafe, but is it less effective? Is going all the way almost to lockout more effective than locking out? Because constant tension can, without resting at lockouts, produce more metabolites, more muscle activation, and sequester more metabolites in the muscle. Basically, it doesn't give a chance for the burn to go away, and the burn is somewhat hypertrophic, so there is something there. It can enhance hypertrophy if you don't lock out, right? But if you rest between reps, technically speaking, your faster, more growth-prone fibers, your fastest twitch fibers, they get much more value out of rest than the slower twitch ones. The slower twitch ones that don't grow much anyway or grow as much, they are endurance fibers. They can keep going. They don't need rest, right? But every time you lock out and rest for a little bit, your faster fibers get more recovered and they can really benefit from that. This locking out in between reps can actually allow you to do more reps per set, not fewer. It lets you flirt with failure for more reps, and the area under the curve of how much total metabolite you sum can actually be higher this way than just doing one set and never locking out the entire time. It also lets you capitalize on the end ranges of motion that you could be skipping without locking weights out, which grows a little bit of extra muscle just because it engages parts of that muscle that might not be engaged a ton if you're going short on the range of motion. And thus, at least as good of results can be seen with full lockouts, including several seconds of rest at each lockout or every now and again, than with constant tension. So constant tension is one of those things that people just say, constant tension, you want constant tension, right? Hey, bro, constant tension, you got fun constant tension in there, what? It's a cool thing, it works, but non-constant tension works as well, in some cases even better. So you're not losing anything. You're not losing anything at all. You can be free to do with roughly similar effect all constant tension lifts. That's totally fine. All full lockout sets, every single rep is locked out, and you can even take a half a second between each rep. You can do a set of mini constant tension reps and then lock out to rest, and then mini constant tension and a lockout to rest, and a few like that. Those can be done Maya rep style. That's totally fine, super effective. Whatever you do, make sure you're consistent within the mesocycle. So if like week 1 for leg press, you do constant tension and you just get like 10, 8, 6, don't next week do like some Maya rep breaks because you can get like 18, 17, 16 reps and you're like, oh my God, I got so much stronger. No, you were resting longer. So whatever kind of rest you choose, whether it's full lockouts, full constant tension or some combination of both. Make sure it's the same week to week to week so you can track your strength better. Make sure you're not inappropriately jacking up volume or load or anything like that. So, final recommendations. If you don't like to lock out, if none of this was convincing, you don't have to lock out. You're missing out on probably no gains, if any gains at all. And if you're missing out on any gains at all, even a tiny super theoretical amount of gains. So don't have to lock out, no big deal. If you don't have any good reason not to lock out, and hopefully I've presented a few, keep locking out to your heart's content. The last thing I'll say is, if I ever see you in a gym and you lock out and you hyperextend both of your elbows and your upper arm, your lower arm bones shoot into your skull and fucking bust into your eyes, and you can't see, and now you have stubs for arms, and your hands and fucking forearms are coming out of your eyes. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be like, it's because you watched my video. I fucking lied to you. I told you it wouldn't snap your shit up, but you did. I got you, motherfucker. I got you. I'm gonna whisper that shit in your ear, and you're gonna be like, what kind of 5D chess is he playing? 6D chess. See you next time.